Welcome back, everybody, to Barbershop Talks. A couple of things. Number one, no, the podcast is not gone. I just got busy, bro, and I refuse to have the same conversations all summer. I'm not going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I've been out of the state like 3 times in the last month, so didn't even as far as everything else I'm doing, the podcast during the off season, I'll be honest, it wasn't as important. So that's number one. Number two, I absolutely refuse to do it by myself. I refuse. I am bringing on guests for this season, not just guests, random guests, rotating guests, like actual co-host. One which you would know if you watch me on Twitch frequently, and another that you just absolutely know in general, but you probably wouldn't expect that we'd be doing a podcast together. So that's the plan right now that we all agree on. So if that doesn't happen, that means something bad happened. But right now, that is the podcast should be reappearing anytime now with some slight twist to it. Either way, that means I need my own voice back, because having the podcast throughout last season kind of made Barbershop Talks useless. Not to mention I was doing something similar on my main channel, so it felt redundant. However, I'm gonna have a podcast with guests. It means Bobcast. It means that Barbershop mixed Barbershop Talk and podcast. It means that Barbershop Talks should be a thing again. So here they are. They're a thing again. Season previews. I did these once quite a while ago. Don't remember if I got through every team. Probably won't get through every team this time. However, we have about 30 days until NBA basketball starts. We have basketball in a couple of days. Well, not really a couple of days. In my life, it's a couple of days, but yeah, pretty much 10 days. Jesus, is it really 10 days? Yes, 10 days from now the preseason starts. That's ridiculous. So yeah, it's time to start this. If you can't tell, I sound a little frantic because everything caught me off guard. Shortest off season by far. Partly because of all the drama that was taking place. Is Kyrie Irving getting traded? Is LeBron James going? What was I about to say? Is LeBron what? Is LeBron gonna have a contending team? Let's just put it that way. Is Russell Westbrook getting traded as a part of the Kyrie trade, or is he getting traded in general? Gobert is gone. Donovan Mitchell's gone. Oh, Kevin Durant requested trade. It was pretty hectic. Although there was a long stretch where nothing happened, it was pretty hectic. So yeah, if you can't tell where I'm going with this, it totally relates to the Lakers, because as of today, they've not found a trade partner for Russell Westbrook, which is point number one in the Lakers season preview. You'll often hear me say that 2023 season, more than almost any other season I've been around for, feels like a sequel to the last year, because man, things just have not changed incredibly much. We know certain players are going to get better. We know certain teams have gotten better, but it doesn't feel like there's been some swift change in like the balance of power. This year, it's just the same contending teams last year, and who's going to survive in these ridiculous conferences. And that's a problem that the Lakers have right now, because the West is still like, I'm pretty sure 7 of these teams are probably almost certainly playoff teams, and so that leaves very little room. And I'll be honest, the Lakers are not one of them. I was talking with a friend the other day, and I was just saying it feels ridiculous to have a team with LeBron and Anthony Davis on it and not be sure where they stand. But that's where we are. That is where we are with this Lakers team for a multitude of reasons. So I'll start with the Westbrook thing. If you hadn't heard, there have apparently been reports about bringing him off the bench, which, if you think back to the podcast, because we talked about the Lakers way more than I wanted to during last season's podcast. It was like an every week thing, checking in on this slowly ascending or descending failure, and it was always I started throwing it around mid-season, I believe. Just, what about bringing him off the bench? Maybe that would be better for him. I was talking about just the natural progression or regression of Westbrook's career. I'm going, maybe a bench role might be what's left for him in terms of contributing to a winning team. Because I don't doubt that you could put Russell Westbrook on some squad that's not really trying to achieve much right now, and he can get his stats again. I think there are better places for him than the Los Angeles Lakers, and with this specific group of players. But as far as contributing to winning, just maybe the bench role is the proper role. Don't know if they're going to do that yet, but I mean, they've been moving kind of wild. You're getting Kendrick Nunn back. They went and got Patrick Beverly, which Oh man, this is, see what I mean by the 2023 season is just a sequel. Everything about the Lakers in 2022 was a train wreck, and it just so okay, not the actual act of acquiring Patrick Beverley himself. Y'all know I am a Patrick Beverley, I won't say enthusiast, I am a Patrick Beverley endorser, as in I would take him on my team. I believe he affects games more than a lot of people believe so, because of what Russell Westbrook said years ago. He said that man just runs around and tricks y'all. People took that quote and they ran with it, unironically. And I just think it kind of ruined his image. So now he is, gosh, one of the better shooters on this Laker roster. As it stands, I think the starting backcourt would be with Russ and Bev, which just in general, I think that would be starting, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So then this is where it gets ugly, right? Because, okay, your other options are maybe to do Russ and Lonnie Walker. One of the last podcasts of the regular season, we were actually giving Lonnie Walker his props for maybe coming along. He, at the very end of last year, he had a couple of moments that were encouraging, but that's all they were. I think I talked about this mid-summer on the podcast. We were talking about Lonnie Walker to the Lakers and just going, it's not the move that you necessarily want to be relying on if you're a contending team. So yeah, I'm not sure if he's a starting level guy on a contending team, and I'm not sure how he fits with Russell Westbrook, but okay, then you can go, well, if Kendrick Nunn's knee has healed from running into vibranium once upon a time, he starts at point, but then like Russ at two? Is that where we're going with this? Y'all see the problem already, right? It's coming into point two, because I could fill 10 minutes talking about point one with Westbrook. Not only do we not know whether he's starting or whether he's going to be benched, don't know how he fits this roster still. Yeah, you can, who tried to shoot him some bail last year? A former Laker tried to shoot him some bail and saying that, oh, well, Russ had a different role every single game because so-and-so was out. And that is absolutely true. That, yeah, he definitely had to wear many different hats, and it wasn't all the way fair. But there were just some basic things as well, like his shot not going, which has kind of always been a thing, but that's exacerbated by the fact you see him changing his shot this summer. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm pretty sure there's a million view videos out there that show Russell Westbrook's new form, and let's see if he brings that in. That was, I feel like I'm on repeat. This is the exact conversation we had last year when the Lakers acquired him, and I was going, okay, well, he knows he has to be able to shoot the ball above average now since he's playing with LeBron, right? And that didn't happen. So yeah, there's just so many questions there, but amongst all the other stuff that we just spent all season talking about, this is a guy the Lakers have desperately been trying to get rid of. The fans absolutely do not like him there. It's to a point where it was downright, what's the word for it? It was an ugly situation between Laker fans and Westbrook last year. And so basically, I'm just getting at the fact that he's coming back to this team that he is not wanted on, and morale, team chemistry, all of that is a real thing. And he's there with Beverly, which they're playing house right now, but I just still, we just have to see how that works out basketball wise and personality wise. That is just weird. Okay, so I don't want to make this whole video about Westbrook. You can pretty much infer the questions that LA has to figure out with him, and I'm sure they still want to get something for him, but it's like whether they want to attach draft picks onto it or not. Okay, cool. So that's point one. But as I was talking about, it was flowing into point two, the supporting cast, bro. This, I can semi-confidently say off the top of my head, is the worst quote-unquote contending roster that LeBron James has had. Because he's had worse rosters for sure. He's had rosters where he was the only superstar. But okay, if you have LeBron and Anthony Davis together, that team is expected to contend almost always. So that's where I'm saying this is the worst contending roster he's had. You can go back to the Miami days where it was basically just him, Wade, and Bosh that first year. Nah, bro, I still think this is worse. I still think this is worse because, okay, once again, Kendrick Nunn have no clue what his leg looks like these days. Pat Bev, once again, one of the better shooters here, and it gets thin really fast, y'all. Russell Westbrook, which unless he has a complete turnaround with the Lakers, we already know that's not going to look that good. We just got through doing that for a whole year. We already spoke about Lonnie Walker. Damian Jones was a nice pickup. I like Damian Jones, and I even like Thomas Bryant, right? So those are two bigs. One of those may stretch the floor for LeBron James and really just the whole team. And after that, Winyan Gabriel, I liked him in the G League. I thought he did some positive things energy wise for the Lakers last season. I don't once again think that it's that he's that important to them in terms of contending. Stanley Johnson was the one guy. Oh gosh, I'm having flashbacks. The Lakers were depending on Stanley Johnson as their bright point to save them last year, and he's not even here anymore. He is not even here. Neither is Taylor Horton-Tucker. Juan Toscano joined them. Juan Toscano Anderson, who basically found himself out of the Warriors rotation last year, but we know, yeah, he can bring some good energy. I guess he could do some intangible stuff, some dirty work. Austin Reeves, one of the only bright spots for the Lakers. Bro, this roster does not even have Carmelo Anthony, who was one of the better Laker players last year and shooters. He's jobless somehow right now. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, they don't have him. They do not have Carmelo Anthony. And here go the rest of your names: Troy Brown Jr., Jay Huff, Javonte McCoy, Max Christie. You got some two-way contracts with Cole. I'm not even gonna lie, like I can pronounce his last name. I haven't heard it all summer. All right, let me whip into shape. You got Scottie Pippen Jr. Before I exit this section, actually, with the supporting cast, they have signed Dennis Schroeder, so that's a positive. That's kind of, I knew I was missing a name when I said they were moving kind of crazy, for the fact that they have Russell Westbrook. They haven't gotten rid of him, and they got these guards. So I said Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley. The name there that was missing was Dennis Schroeder. That's a positive thing to get him back. I'm not sure that it fixes much, but out of everything they did this summer, it's positive. It's a lot of guards, but I guess maybe you don't plan on having Kendrick Nunn, and maybe you don't plan on having Russell Westbrook much longer. Even with that, though, this roster is ugly. Okay, so that's the supporting cast. Point 3, health. This is the main reason, amongst many other reasons, why I cannot call a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis a lock for the playoffs, surprisingly. Because normally you come into a year and you say, oh, well, injuries are going to happen to random teams and you can't predict them. But at this point, it's starting to feel like a feature of Anthony. As a matter of fact, it's felt like that with AD. But it truly feels like a feature of Anthony Davis that at some point, he will probably miss some time. That's just a fair bet. As a matter of fact, if I was a bettor, and I'm not, I would bet Anthony Davis at some point this season will miss. So when I say a significant amount of time in this conference and in this NBA right now, because it's ultra competitive, even missing like 10 games is very significant. Because you have a lot of teams that have gotten better. Look at the Clippers, look at the Wolves. Those are squads that are going to be trying to move up. As a matter of fact, Clippers didn't even make it last year because of injuries. So if these teams are healthy, AD misses 10 games, that could shoot your chance. Even if you miss it by one game because of that, that could completely shoot your chance. And even LeBron at this age, it's no longer a guarantee that he's going to stay healthy. It's slowly starting to happen, but every year we're starting to see one or two nicks on him, one or two dings on him that make it questionable of, oh, should he be playing these games at the end of the season? Basically, we just don't have the full-on Iron Man Braun that we had once upon a time that was spraining ankles and tying his shoes and posterizing you the next play. 56 games total last year for Sir LeBron James. So health has to be a question, which that's technically a question with any team, but it is especially a question with the Lakers, because if either LeBron or AD don't have a squeaky clean health bill this year, they, in my opinion, are almost automatically out of the playoffs. That doesn't feel like it's anything crazy to say. Again, either one of them. And Anthony Davis takes a heart-wrenching fall every other game. He takes a general fall where you worry about his health every game. And so, yeah, either of these guys, and then you're stuck with Russell Westbrook trying to figure it out with Pat Bev, Winyan Gabriel, and Kendrick Nunn. Like, bro, it's just the Lakers are... I can't believe LeBron signed a contract extension, because I thought he was going to hold their feet to the fire as he's done every other franchise ever in his career. And, you know, put pressure on them to trade and whatnot, all this other stuff. No, he went ahead and signed the extension, thankfully. So the Lakers don't necessarily have to figure anything out right now, but he is... that's fascinating, actually. It doesn't show... okay, there we go. So I had to look it up because it wasn't updated. Yeah, so he's extended. Agreed to this extension for 2 more years. into the 2024-2025 season, that's an option. So, okay, yeah, 23 and 24 for sure. 25 is where he could leave, which he'll be a lot older by then. Very surprised he did that, but hey, you know what? That is a good thing for LA. Otherwise, I would have been 100% sure he was out of there this year. I don't think this is going to be a good year for the Lakers. If it is a good year, hey, again, I don't have a crystal ball. Give me my L. Give me my L. I will take my L if they figure the Russ thing out, or if they even trade him. That will completely scrap this whole video. If they trade him and they somehow finesse really good pieces out of that, changes everything here. But just from where I'm sitting, I don't know why this would be a good season for the Lakers. You might disagree though, so if you do, let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button and sub if you enjoyed. Get ready for more season previews. I will see y'all on the next one.